Hello, my name is Menzim Konza, founder and facilitator of Words in My Mouth Poetry Slam. Welcome to the business of poetry, how to make money as a creative writer slash poet. Over the past 4 years of us running a creative platform, we thought it was good for us to share what we know so that you have the information and have more shortcuts to a successful creative industry. The first thing that we need to do is to understand what makes a business. And here are the 5 factors we are going to use to define ourselves as businesses. The first is sales, which is streams of income, marketing, the art of getting known, customer service, interaction and relationship building. The fourth is user experience, wayfinding experience. And the last one is value proposition, the gap you are filling. All of these factors solidify any business that you can think of. To help us better understand how these might work for you, we have to put them in context. So let's say you are a performance poet who wants to break into the poetry industry. The questions that you might have is, where do I start? How do I establish connections? What gaps can I fill? What can I do to market myself? Is there any money in the poetry industry? What will I need to know? Or rather, what will you need to know? Before I answer all of these questions, I first want you to know that in order to break into any industry and make the money that you want to make is to understand business in its basic format. So let's start with value proposition. We need to do a discovery session on what the industry needs in its current time. Where can you fill in the gap between you and the audience? And where can you innovate? For example, here is our value proposition at Words in My Mouth. We help up-and-coming poets realize their value through business understanding, taking them through a step-by-step process of teaching them creative writing and performance art to cultivate the gap between business and creativity through poetry. With this value proposition, we have put in some business models in place to articulate practically the gap we're filling. This is how a value proposition looks like practically. In our business, we have an ecosystem, and this is how our ecosystem looks like. Open mic, slam week, slam league, the business of poetry workshops, bleed ink, and coffee with the founder. For more, click on the description below. The best businesses have good ecosystems. This is what we at Words in My Mouth are already aiming to do, thus builds a community, which is what we value most through our business. This helps us collaborate and might sustain us through the digital revolution, much like this festival. The big question of any business is, where will the money come from? This is where sales steps in. Profit or non-profit organization, money has to be made to sustain the business. When I think about sales, I think of them in this way, which is cost, price, and value. When it comes to cost, we are talking about what the business is spending money on the raw materials to produce the product. Price refers to what the customer is willing to pay for the product produced. And value refers to what does the customer get beyond the price that they paid for the product. Value can be measured in emotional feelings and feelings of being empowered beyond what they exchange it for in monetary value. How does this work practically? Let's sell something. We're going to call it short poems for furniture pieces. We need to understand what are the costs of producing this, and here are a few things to consider. Designing, printing, and use of equipment, which is pens and all of those other things, and probably the laptop that you're writing on and the paper that you're going to be scripting your poems on. Then we have to mark it up to make a profit. When a customer buys, they might value it so much that they will put it up on their wall. So when value exceeds price, people give you money. The purpose of making money is to make a profit, which leads to sustaining the business so that the business can reinvest in itself and its employees. Which leads us to our next phase, marketing, the art of getting known. A practical way to explain this is find the waterhole where your customers are and put the product or service there. In this case, you might find that your waterhole is on social media platforms. Going to the waterhole where your customers might be requires you to start posting or sharing your work. Marketing is also the ability to help people to find what they're looking for. You have to position yourself in a manner which is different. This is where the value proposition comes in. And finding a community or tribe that shares the same values. Often these communities are in the niches. As they say, there are riches in the niches. This is also how businesses benefit through meaningful relationships and eager clients, helping them build or create better and amazing content. An idea is like a virus. It spreads. That's how we have to think about marketing. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is customer service. Connecting with people, building long-lasting relationships and friendships, encouraging collaboration has made us think bigger and going beyond what we are trying to achieve. Customer service goes beyond the transaction and the exchange of value. This is where connections are formed, which can lead to seamless collaborations. We work with people who we know and like. Customer service is the ability to serve after the transaction is made. It can either be through a follow-up call, checking up on a person's well-being, or the experience with your product or service. This helps you better understand where your business is going if there is satisfaction with what you are implementing. Customer service can also look like taking a client out for coffee, further enhancing the relationship. We want to climb the brand ladder. We want to leave people feel empowered by the work that we do as artists. Which brings us to our final factor, user experience. This is where design comes in. Design is being the ability to change an existing situation to a preferred one. A network of systems coming together to bring a holistic idea of how your business works. This is where innovation experience also comes in. We need to look at the phases of innovation, which is medium, space, and format. Medium is the what. What are you using as an artist? The space is where. Where are you performing as an artist? The format is how. How are you doing the things that you do? These are the things that people know you for. Design is a process which has a user perspective and drives development based on customer needs. This being innovation experience. We want to achieve in user experience. What we want to achieve in user experience is to put a good system together so that it's easy for customers and clients to understand how our business works in their eyes. From when they book you, to the time they respond, to interaction, to how they make payments to you, to your website. Everything that makes a customer's life easier is an experience. How do existing and potential customers navigate through your brand? These are the type of questions that we need to start asking ourselves if we want to solidify ourselves as creative businesses, especially in the context of creative writing. And I hope this helped you better understand how you can solidify yourself as a creative business. I am Menzim Konza, and this was produced for My Body, My Space Festival. And I hope to see you in the next one.